So last night when I told you about the storm coming in, or the snow, take a look at this. That is absolutely crazy. Alright guys, so it's much later in the day now. It's actually around 11:30. I'm about to hit the hay and call it a night. But before I do, there were two things that I thought about today. The first one, I got in contact with a friend on Twitter who lives over in Seattle, and I saw a couple of his pictures that got me really thinking. He's a big tabletop gamer just like I am, and he probably even more because he's been doing it for a lot longer. And he is in the process right now of making his own game, and he had cards and or not the cards used for the game, but he had playing cards because it was like a testing thing. He was just getting the fundamentals down. Then he had a little notebook, and he had all of his notes in there. It got me thinking, talking to him about it, the whole process that he was going through. Basically, it just comes down to, when I was in college, I got bored in one of my classes. That's like almost every day. And I ended up jotting some notes down about, well, if I were to make a game, how would it be? And this is actually like pretty cool, so I'm gonna take it. I thought it was pretty cool back then. Didn't really do anything with it just because I didn't have the experience then that I do now when it comes to board games, especially like European style board games. Not like Monopoly, Game of Life, stuff like that, but like Dead of Winter style, or Carcassonne, or just any of those games that actually have strategy to them, like real authentic strategy, you know. And looking back at that game, it got me thinking. I'm like, I wonder if I can actually do something with it now. So today I actually started making notes about, okay, well, maybe I want to add a card aspect to the game. Maybe do I want to have dice? Do I want to have wood pieces? What are the fundamental goals of the game? What am I trying to achieve? You know, the whole process. So I'm going through that right now, trying to work on it. I actually want to see it through. Like the Disney one, the Disney game that I came up with a while ago, I still have the cards for. I have all the questions on paper. I just am not happy with the cards that I'm making now because they're on cardstock. They're not on some premium shiny gloss. They're not like the size of playing cards, stuff like that, like Cards Against Humanity type stuff. They're not on that, and I don't like the quality of it. So for now, it's just a paper-based game. You can print out the questions, you can go through it. It's got simple rules. You play to a score, and the person who answers questions and gets up to that score wins. It's a simple game. This game is going to be far more difficult, and it's going to take a lot more planning, and I would definitely like to see it out. So I'm gonna stick my nose in the water, my feet in the water, my nose in the books with this one, and really focus down on finishing this and actually get it to the testing period. I think it'll be really fun. So I will keep you updated on that. The second thing today, I got thinking about the future of my YouTube channel, and I need concrete goal markers for my channel. And by goal markers, I mean where I want to see my channel at certain times and what I want to do by certain times. Once I get my new place, as for right now, I'm just going to stick with what I've been doing. Once I get to my apartment, whenever it is that I actually get a chance to go look at it, and if I do get it, once I get there, that opens up the doors to a bunch of things. I'm gonna have an art studio. I want to be able to work on my art and get that out there. I would love to actually start making some sales on my art. I think it would be really fun. Then you have streaming. Streaming is a little harder because to me it just feels a little harder because that itself can be a full-time job, and people do make it a full-time job, and I don't want it to be my full-time job. If anything, I want YouTube to be my full-time job. That being said, I think I'm only going to stream 3 to 4 times a week at the most. That should be able, like, I should be able to play it safe like that and still have time for everything else, like YouTube and art and stuff like that. So YouTube, my goal once I get the place is to do 2 or 3 videos. 3 videos a week would be awesome. If I could keep that schedule every single week, putting out 3 movies at least a week, I would love it. Come home from work, sit on the computer, film a game, record a game, put out a vlog, you know, that whole thing. Once I actually have my own place, I should be able to pump out more vlogs just because I'm gonna have more video content. Right now I'm sitting at 52 subscribers. That's my check mark for right now. By the end of 2019, I want to be close to 200. That's my goal. I'm going to push that as hard as I possibly can. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well today. So it is now the 30th of January. January is just cruising by. It is over and done with. Not as quick as December, but it's up there. It is leaving on a very, very frigid ending. We're sitting right now at negative 17 degrees Fahrenheit, and the real feel, or feels like temperature, is negative 41. And I'll show that right here so you guys can see it. That's insane. That is so freaking cold. That's the coldest I personally have ever had it in 30 years that I've lived here in Wisconsin. That's the coldest I've ever had it. It's insane. I've hunted in negative 12, but other than that, that's cold. There's no reason why anything should be open tomorrow. That being said, a few things that basically happened today. One, I'm really getting into the whole board game thing. I'm jotting down my notes, trying to figure out how everything's working. It's both very fun, yet very stressful at the same time. It's kind of weird. The second thing is, I got Kingdom Hearts 3. I am addicted. I played it for 8 straight hours already. Absolutely love the game. It's amazing. The graphics for it blow me away. The storyline... The storyline with Kingdom Hearts is always very hard to explain to people because the only game that truly makes any sense is the first game. Every other game makes it very complicated. I don't want to get into explaining it because I'm just going to butcher parts of it. It's a very complicated storyline, but it's a very grab your attention and suck you into it kind of storyline, you know? That being said, highly recommend the game. If you haven't played 3 though, I highly recommend getting the ones before it. And they made it really simple now, where it's called Kingdom Hearts: The Story So Far. And it's out for the PS4 and the Xbox One, I think. Or maybe just the PS4. But it has all of the games in it up until this point, not including 3. 3 was completely separate. I think they've redone the games a little too many times. I have 1.5 and 2.5 on the PS3, and then I have them both together on the PS4, and then I have 2.8 on the PS4, and now I have 3 on the PS4. I may have bought too many. Tomorrow also happens to be a pretty big day. It's the day I'm gonna go look at my apartment, or a apartment that I may actually get. You know what? Okay, so this bothers me about my beard and my mustache. It's thick here, and then gets really light, and then gets thick again. And the only way to actually cover that up is if I let my mustache get long on the side so that the hair droops down. You know what I'm saying? Any guys out there? Like, because if I were to trim this, it would look like there's like a gap right in here on both sides. And it's so annoying. I am having a little bit of stress planning my next Disney trip. Usually I plan every couple years for a Disney trip. It gives me plenty of enough time to figure out an exact week that I want to go that's both affordable and the parks aren't overly crowded, because you can find out easily what the crowd levels are per day, or what they should be roughly. The issue with when I'm going, I'm not going to give out any specific dates on YouTube, but basically there's a holiday and then there's a weekend right away, and then at the very start of the next week is another holiday. So Magic Kingdom is going to be crowded the entire time I'm there. I think there's one day where it's not crowded out of the 7 that I'll be there. So I have some thinking I have to do with that to get that to mesh well. We'll see what I end up doing. But that's going to do it for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow. I am so looking forward to checking out this apartment. Wish me luck. Alright guys, so it's actually a little later the next day. Hi Jack. But I'm looking at the temperature. It's negative 10 outside. It's about 2-3 o'clock. I'm gonna go start my car up just to get it warmed up for a little bit, because it hasn't been started since last night, and with the temperatures you kind of want to stay on top of that. Oh, and just a heads up about the apartment today that I'm going to look at. There are people still living in there, so I'm definitely not going to be able to show you guys around, just out of respect to them. But here, let's see if we can get this thing started. Alrighty. and it's showing it right now at -13 out here. Oh, this thing is rough right now. I'm gonna let this thing cool, not cool down, it's already way too cold. I'm gonna let this thing warm up for a little bit and I'm gonna step inside. I was just out there for those couple minutes to start my car up and I'm freezing cold. The National Weather Service is actually, as of last night, they issued a warning not to talk for more than just a few minutes out there because it could actually damage your cords and whatnot. So overall, it's been pretty interesting dealing with this weather. It is freaking cold out there, and a whole lot of places in Wisconsin are actually shut down now. Oh, but this weather though, holy cow, like it looks beautiful. If it wasn't for the temperature outside, it would be insanely beautiful, but it's just so freaking cold. Everything's creaking. The snow was nice though when it was falling. It was nice, and see, even the snow, like this was all soft before, and now it's only a top layer that's actually soft. The rest of it is rock solid. Wow, that got cold. Alright guys, so a little update on the apartment. We went and took a look at it. It had ups and downs. The apartment itself, for the most part, was all up. 1,100 square foot apartment, big, nice area. The apartment was in good condition. The bathtub needed some work. They said they were going to work on that before they sold it to me anyway. All that would be replaced. And then there were small things on the ceiling in the living room, which I'm trying to think of how to word this now. The way they were led me to believe that there was some sort of water damage or some kind of a leak at one point. It was in variable spots all along the edge, so I'm thinking that there might have been a leak along the edge of the roof because I was on the top floor. That was also another issue that I'll get to in a little bit. So overall, the apartment wasn't bad. I actually have the application and I'm still thinking it over and if I want to send it in. Now to get some more of the bad stuff. It's on the second floor. If you go to the website and look at it, it shows, or it says, that it's a attached garage, which it is. It's an attached garage on a 2-bedroom deluxe apartment, main floor. Like it's on the first floor. But then on the same page, on the right side, it says where it's located, level 2. So that's kind of contradicting. So I'm like, okay, maybe they just had that messed up. But then another thing that they had on their website was that if you have good credit, you get the first month free. We asked him about that, and he said it depends on the lease. There are like 2 different leases that they have, or 2 different terms of leases. I have no idea what they meant by that. But the lease that the people had that were at that apartment was not a lease that was included in that. So I wouldn't be able to get the first month free. But it clearly states on the computer that I do. So I'm going to call them tomorrow, figure that out. If that is a no-go and I can't get the first month free, I'm not taking the apartment at all. Mainly because I looked up reviews for the company that owns it, and out of all the reviews that I've seen, they have horrible ratings. But if I call tomorrow and they say, well, no, you can't do that, that's only for certain things, then they should disclose that, meaning that they're putting stuff online that's not exactly true. So tomorrow we'll get that situated. I'll give them a call, see what that's about. But that's gonna do it for tonight. I'm gonna go get warm, cuddle in bed, watch some Home Improvement to relax, play some Stardew Valley, and pass out. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow.